Recently, my poor dying Pixel 4 battery started to bulge, so it was unfortunately time to lay to rest my trusty test device for Android. But not as all is lost because we have a new phone to try. I picked up the CMF Phone 1 on launch day, and it has now arrived, so it's time to take a look at it. We're going to unbox it and get some first impressions. My goal with this phone is that it will be my test device, so it doesn't need to be all singing and dancing. I'm still going to be using my S23 Ultra as my main device and camera, but this should work as a really great replacement for my test device. So let's get it unboxed and then we'll take a look. I wanted to show this is the Pixel 4. I'm not sure if you can see that, but the back is starting to peel up and it's kind of bulging in the middle here. So yeah, it's kind of a surefire sign that the battery in this is swelling. So probably best not to use it anymore in case, it explodes. So we're going to put that to one side and replace it with this nice new CMF Phone 1. So this is the box that it comes in, kind of zoomed in over the camera module. It's quite a nice box. It's cardboard. It is what it is. Let's get into it and have a look. So I'm very intrigued by this phone because the 200 pound and below space is a really kind of busy area for Android devices. There's a lot of cheap Android devices, and most of them have quite big sacrifices. So I'm intrigued to see how well this phone performs. I'm going to be using it as a daily driver, so there will be a follow-up video to this kind of once I've been using it for a while, because on the surface, it seems like it's not missing a huge amount of things. You have an AMOLED 120 hertz screen. It's 6.67 inches. It's running Android 14 using Nothing's OS. It has a MediaTek Dimensity 7300. So it has got a cheaper chip in it, but we'll see how the performance is. 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage. It has a 50 megapixel Sony camera sensor. The other sensor is kind of like a 2 megapixel. I think it's this one at the top. I'm not sure. We'll have a look at this. But one of these is just a little 2 megapixel that's used for like depth information. So really, it looks like it's got two cameras. It's got one camera. So that's definitely one thing. There is under-screen fingerprint, which we'll have to check out, see how good that is. But there is no wireless charging and there is no NFC. So you won't be able to use it for things like Google Pay. Does have a SPAC, the back comes off as well, but you can't replace the battery. That's one thing that's really very annoying for me. So anyway, let's get it unboxed. Let's have a look. So immediately presented with the phone itself and the sort of paper packaging, which is quite common now across lots of devices. You've got some nice prints on here that actually show you where the buttons are. Volume rocker, there's a power button. This down here tells you how to replace the back cover. And this is what they're called the accessory interface. We'll have a little look at that more in a moment, but let's get it unpeeled and then it just slides out. And here is the phone itself. Has got, I think, yes, it's got a built-in screen protector, which is quite nice. Let's just see what else is in the box first. So under here, as kind of expected, there's not a whole lot in the box. You get a USB-C cable. It's like a rubbery cable, so it's not braided or anything nice like that. But it's fine. I mean, we all have millions of USB-C cables at this point. No charging brick, again, cost-cutting measure with the assumption that everyone does have one, or you can buy one, of course. And in here, this is what's to be the SIM eject tool. Yes, so this is the SIM eject tool, which is kind of cute. Now, I thought, at least from what I'd seen, the other end is supposed to be a screwdriver to take out the back. So that's interesting. Not seen that with other kind of early reviews. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's strange. And then just a little quick start guide. And yeah, Gumph. And that's it. That's everything that's in here. So let's have a look at the phone itself. From the front, it is quite an unassuming generic black slab, like with most phones. It's a good size. It's definitely on the larger size from phone perspective, but it fits well in my admittedly quite large hands. Around the sides, we have the power button, sort of nearly halfway, not quite, down the side, and nothing else on that side. Microphone on the top, and then on here you've got the volume rocker, and then just on the bottom you've got another microphone, SIM card slot, USB-C port, and a single speaker. And then obviously there's a speaker in there for taking phone calls. And that's kind of it. The kind of interesting part of this phone is definitely its back. It has this kind of textured, it's kind of hard to describe. It's plastic, but it's slightly textured. And I got that in the green. Um, you've got these big 4 screws here, which do unscrew and you can take the back off. Like I say, I thought it came with a screwdriver, which is, again, surprising. So I will have to dig something out and we'll have a look at that later. Editor Zachary here, just stopping in to say, if you've made it this far into the video and you're enjoying it, please do make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We're still a very small channel, time of recording around 750 subscribers, so every single subscription really does count. Help me get to that 1,000 goal, that would be amazing. Thank you. Okay, on with the video. But other than that, you've got this thing here, the accessory interface, which sparked a lot of kind of speculation when they were announcing the phone as to what this is. Is it some sort of control dial? Is it a wheel that you can use? What is it? Well, actually, it's just a kind of stopper that you can unscrew to have this screw mount, which you can then screw accessories into it. So there's a kickstand, there's a wallet that can go on the back, and they're also releasing all the kind of dimensions and everything so that you can build your own accessories for it, which is pretty cool. So it's not as useful as maybe some of the speculation was hoping it would be. I would have liked to have seen this be an actual control mechanism, but still, it's a very interesting kind of interface way to get accessories on the device without having to use like magnets and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of cool. I like that. So we're going to get it booted up and set up, and then I'm going to see about taking this back off because, yeah, I'm intrigued by this. Let's have a look. So I've had some time now to get the phone set up after unboxing, and first impressions, very easy to get set up. If you haven't set up a new Android phone in a while, it's definitely a lot easier than it used to be. It is smooth, it is easy to transfer files from other devices. Yeah, can't fault the process, can't fault the software. The Nothing OS is very nice. I really like the icons. It does, of course, unfortunately fall flat when you install other apps on your phone, and you can't actually then use those icons because that app doesn't support the icon framework, which is a real pain if you ask me. It ruins the aesthetic of the device if some icons don't match. But anyway, that's more of an issue with Android than the phone itself. Overall responsiveness has been very smooth, that you can really tell that it's got that 120 hertz refresh rate. Loading apps and stuff has been no problem at all. I could really see this actually being my daily drive and very quickly being the phone that I would recommend to anyone that's looking for a mid-range device, because yes, it's less than £200, but honestly, I think it's batting well above its weight. There's definitely some issues, but overall, I'm very impressed. Next thing I want to do, let's get the back of this phone off and let's actually see what's underneath and what you can do. Let's get the back of this off and take a look underneath. I was right. In the videos that I've seen, this end is a screwdriver, so I'm not really sure what's going on here. Maybe it's a European thing. I don't know. But unfortunately, it does mean we have to provide our own screwdriver. Not that that's a particularly big issue for me personally, but it kind of takes away from the novelty of the fact that you can just easily take it off and everything's included. It's a shame. Anyway, let's get the back off and see what's underneath. So we need to remove this accessory mount point. We also actually need to remove the SIM card. Let's do that before I forget. So we can just, oh, there we go. like that. And pop that to one side. Okay, now we can get the screws off. This should then just come off, I think. I reckon we can get our finger. There we go. There we go. And then just pop it all off around the edges. Okay, that's not too bad. That's on there. It's not going to fall off without the screws, but it's pretty easy to take off as well. There we go. Okay, and that is the back of the phone taken off. So it really is just a piece of plastic. It's pretty flimsy. Definitely has a lot of flex in it. It's not particularly structural or anything, so I guess that makes sense. It's quite thin, but there you go. And there is the inside to the phone. Well, at least the inside that you can see from here. There's not actually a lot going on. And this is the thing that kind of perplexes me about this phone. You can take the back off. Its kind of novelty is that you can do that, but you don't get any benefits from it. You actually kind of lose the benefits of not being able to take the back off, i.e. it being sealed and having waterproofing, but you don't gain the benefits of being able to take it off because it still doesn't want the battery to be consumer replaced. It's stuck behind this like sticker. You've got a void sticker on one of the screws. So it very much is designed to not be taken apart. Now, of course, we are going to take it apart because that's what I do. And there will be a separate dismantle video coming soon. But for this video, it's kind of very disappointing. I feel like they've missed a trick here. On the one hand, sure, you can replace the backs and change the color, but that's it. Nothing else is designed to be consumer repairable. So you really are getting the worst of both worlds on that front. That was disappointing. That was a hit for me in terms of making this the go-to phone. If you're going to have the ability to remove the back, it just makes sense to have the ability to replace the battery. We are going to do a full teardown video, so we'll see if maybe it's not actually that bad, but at least they do not want you as a user to replace it. So with that said, do I recommend this phone so far? Well, I haven't been using it for long, couple of hours, and I must admit, for a normal person that isn't looking for anything fancy, this is a really good contender. Yeah, the wireless charging is a shame. The lack of wireless charging, the lack of NFC is a shame. The fact that it's got a removable battery back but no removable battery, a shame. But these devices at this price point, they're always going to have some limitations. They've got to remove something to get to that price point. So I think it's a good balance. You've got a very nice screen, very responsive. The processor is no slouch. It's doing its job very well. And I think for most people, those are the most important things. But we will be doing more of a deep dive on this phone. I'm going to use it as my daily driver for a couple of weeks, and then we can really dig into things like camera quality and other type of stuff as well. So if that is something that you'd be interested in, please do make sure to like and subscribe. But yeah, I think that's it for this video. It's been an interesting one. I'm really looking forward to using it. It's definitely going to be a good replacement as a test device, but could it be more? Anyway, thank you very much, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.